Hi, mystery lovers. This is Mystery Fix, and today we're going to focus on the victim because even though the victim dies, the victim drives your mystery. So, although your sleuth is the hero of your mystery, the victim drives the story because the sleuth works throughout the story to uncover layers about the victim and the people, your characters, involved in the victim's life. In a traditional mystery, the puzzle pieces the sleuth uncovers are based on the relationship between the victim and the villain. As you construct your story, you reveal the layers of the victim's life as your sleuth learns more and more about the victim's world. So the victim's backstory is absolutely essential to your mystery. So when you're creating your character Bible, the victim holds a prominent place right after your sleuth. And the more you know about the victim and their world, the easier it is to construct the puzzle of your mystery, because that's where you're going to get all the details. So here are some basics that you need to know about your victim. Number one, of course, is the victim's relationship to the villain. And then the victim's relationship to each of the suspects, because you're going to be creating that puzzle. And then a broad backstory of the victim's life that will enrich the connections to the character. So you really want to go deep dive into that character background and put as much as you can about the victim's life, because those little details are going to be the details that you pull up as the sleuth is talking to the various suspects. Then you want to know the specific action the victim took to incur the villain's ultimate strike. What did they do? What was the thing that just finally pushed the button and the villain struck? And then you want to know a lot about the victim's world. And this world is often, and usually in a mystery, unknown to the sleuth. So as the sleuth starts trying to put together the puzzle pieces, he has to go into the victim's world and find out what he did and where he went and who she knew and what was her focus in life. And I think a really great example are those British mystery series where each one is about a different world. You know, it may be car racing or bicycle racing or rowing or dog breeding. You know, each one, there's a different world. And as charming as they are, they really illustrate how important it is to know the victim's world and why the sleuth has to get acquainted with that world before he can really figure out the solution to the puzzle. And then to add extra depth to your victim, give them a secret and a lie the same way you do for your other mystery characters. Because the suspects that your sleuth investigates may be basing their information on a victim's lie. So you get to play with this stuff a lot. So the more you build into your victim's backstory, the richer your material to create your puzzle. I mean, just imagine what you can do with what suspects think they know about the victim when they share with your sleuth. So it's all about context. I know I've said this before, and it's just as important with the victim as it is with every single one of your other characters, because context is the most important element in creating your character. So when you create your victim, you create the context for all the characters in your mystery, how they perceive the victim, how they react and respond to the victim before they died, how they respond to the victim's death. So the victim's relationship to all the other characters are the elements that help you create the puzzle. And as you to take your detective and your readers deeper into the story, your detective enters a new world and the victim's world. And as he wanders the victim's world, he gathers bits and pieces of information, meets suspects, and in their environment expands his vision of the victim's world. And you, the writer, need to know this world in order to guide your sleuth through the discoveries. Sometimes, because the victim's world is new to your sleuth, he or she makes false assumptions or overlooks clues or mistakes, a red herring for a clue. All of this because he's still getting to know that victim's world. So at various places in your story, you set up clues for the sleuth that reveal the connection between the victim and the villain. And part of the fun of writing your mystery is hiding those clues to baffle your sleuth and keep your readers guessing. The victim is just so important. The victim is the base for your mystery. And even though your victim may play a small part in your story, you want to create that rich background for this all-important character in your mystery. The murder is the incident that sets your sleuth in motion. And when you know about your victim and their world, you can pull from a rich resource to unlock relationships with other characters, hide clues that seem unimportant at the time, and slowly reveal the deep connection between the victim and the villain. Okay, so that's it for today. And I hope you have fun creating your victim, because you'll discover that the more you work on your victim's background, the more you have to use in your story, and you won't be searching for what do I do next and what's a clue I can use here, any of those things. You're going to have it all as you work through your character background. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.